Hi, I'm Megan Bergeson. I'm a motivated, creative, goal-driven individual looking to boost my career in graphic design. I have a Bachelor of Science degree from Bemidji State University where I majored in technology, art and design, and mass communications. After graduating, I worked for 3 years in publications. There I worked with graphic design, branding, page layout, copy editing, and marketing. I'm looking to find a company I can bring my talents and skills, as well as learn and grow from. I want to take some time to show you some of my work. Three different pieces: a branding identity manual for the corner bar, a bottle and box design, and a 24-page infographic book. Here are the three pieces you will see: the identity standards manual, packaging design, and an infographic book. First, I'm going to go over an identity standards manual that I created for the corner bar. The Corner Bar is a local bar and grill on the southeast side of Bemidji. It's been open since 1977. It's a local favorite, but they needed a new branding system. Their old logo was not consistent, and the colors were very loud and aggressive. The Corner Bar also had no signage outside the building. They only had their logo painted on the side of the window. The client wanted a redesigned logo and a consistent branding identity through the Identity Standards Manual. My objective was to create a clean, vintage, classic, memorable logo. I wanted the logo to capture the history of the corner bar and express an idea of quality and tradition. And here you can see the fonts I selected and the colors. The first steps I took in logo construction was sketching and arranging some colors and symbols in Adobe Illustrator. In order to get a sense of quality and tradition, I decided to use a seal logo style. I tried different colors and fonts, and that would best represent the style of the corner bar. I chose a circle-shaped and ridged outside to give it the look of a bottle cap, and I incorporated the red banner to signify the promise of quality the corner bar holds for its customer. The banner helps to unify the emblem. Here you can see the final logo, where I used three Pantone colors: rustic red, beige, and dark brown. These colors all work well together to create a classic vintage feel. The red and brown create a great focal point for the eye, and the contrast of the beige and the dark brown gives depth to the illustration. The font I chose is outlined in all caps to portray a vintage neon bar sign. The font is bold yet inviting. The secondary font is Century Gothic. It's easy to read in small print and complements the primary font as well. Once the logo is finalized, I created a restriction zone in the logo and an incorrect and correct uses pages for the manual. The purpose of the manual was to be sure that any outsider with no design experience would be able to follow the guidelines and use the logo correctly. I explained to the reader what not to do with the logo. This would also eliminate any bad design choices or alternations of the work. I showed what different backgrounds would look like with the logo, what variations can be used on black, and what colors could be used as a background, along with if you want to use a logo with any photography or texture. I implemented the red banner as a form of secondary branding. This banner signifies quality and service. This banner is used in all mediums for stationery and publications. For the business stationery, I implemented the same colors, red banner, and a similar logo placement to maintain a consistent brand. And here are the menus where I chose to use the logo as a focal point along with the secondary branding technique of using the banner. And here are the signs that would be established within the corner bar: the indoor sign and the outdoor sign, so we can clearly see the logo presented from the street. I designed advertisements to give the logo real-life quality. Here's a billboard that would be on Highway 71 just south of the corner bar. I created several applications of the logo to portray what the logo would look like in real-life objects, so clients could understand how the logo would be, or logo and the brand would be applied. Here's the employee shirt, a beer mug, and the corner bar bus shuttle. This project was a branding challenge, seeing as the corner bar did not have much of a brand when I first started. The detailed logo development and concentration on the aspect I want to portray helped me gain a lot of branding skills. Next, I'll be talking about a packaging design. This piece was developed for an organic cosmetic company. Revive Organic Cosmetics were looking for a new branded product line. I was assigned to create a logo, product bottle designs, and packaging design. The client wanted the logo to show on the bottles and the packaging and have an overall unified brand. For the logo, I wanted to use an olive green and a darker brown. Being an organic makeup line, I wanted to incorporate green, but not have a bright lime green. I wanted the product to appeal to be higher end to customers and have a clean, sophisticated feel. I chose a straight line sans serif to hold over the theme of clean and sophisticated. During my logo development, I immediately saw the similarity of the leaves and the letter V. I tried to incorporate the symbol into the word, but the understanding of what the word meant was lost, so I did some rearranging. Final logo had the leaf symbol in the front of the word mark. I chose to do this because the organic shape of the leaf contrasted well with the straight sans serif font. The heavy dark text also created some balance from the leaf pointing to the left. The three products they needed were lip balm, mascara, and nail polish. I did some sketches and some drawing in Illustrator. After understanding the shape of the bottles, I took the drawings into 3ds Max to produce 3D models. I designed them all with a cohesive brand and material. I placed a recycled material on the products to give the customers the idea that buying the product would not only benefit themselves, but the environment as well. I chose to use the white version of the logo to create a similar clean feel and a sophisticated look. I thought the green leaf would take away and clash with the materials of the other products. The box I created for the product is white to keep the outside clean. I also chose to use white to make the products pop a little bit more and not blend in with the same material. I wanted the products to be viewable through the window and seem like they were being set on a stage. I put different information on the panels. One panel had the product ingredients. The other had information about the company and directions to use the website. The backside had renders of the products along with the names, the contents, and small descriptions. I wanted to include this project because it adds depth to my portfolio, showing product, packaging, and 3D design. Next, I'm going to introduce the infographic book, The History About Baseball. The inspiration for this project was based on my career playing softball at Bemidji State. I've always loved sports and being involved in sports, and I've always loved watching softball and baseball. I've also had experience working with athletic media relations, doing their graphics, and I thought the infographics was a great way to portray stats in a fun nature. Here is just an example of some of my inspiration that I got from baseball stats. It's just different stats and kind of showing how you can use illustration to get your point across a lot easier than just words. The colors I chose were muted blues and grays. I chose darkest blue as the cover in the back cover. The darker background really makes the graphics pop, and I use the gray for all the inside chapters to make it easier to read and the type to follow and to read the type and to follow the information. The last blue was used to display the timeline of events and complements the dark backgrounds, while not having a problem of losing readability with the white type in the book. I chose Avenir for the black headings to bring hierarchy, and for the body copy, I used a thinner version. I wanted the book to look professional yet interesting, and I didn't want to incorporate a lot of crazy fonts. I wanted it to look clean. And so I maintained this font family throughout the book. Here you can see the first chapter of the book. I used a minimalistic graphic style for illustrations. I wanted to portray different icons throughout the history of baseball, with only using a few details. Here you can see the hierarchy of text, the years, and then the illustrations, as well as a body copy in the background. Used the two different background colors to add depth, and then that blue to push forward the illustrations in the timeline. Here's an example of the spread. I used the innings to represent the chapters. Each inning explained one decade in baseball history. I acquired all the information from a source book and a documentary series I watched. I outlined the chapters of the book from the library as they added a few more important details of what was going on around the world in that decade. In this spread, you can see in the lower left corner, it explains that in this year, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. I add these little bits of information so the reader would get an understanding of what point in history these baseball legends were emerging. Throughout the spreads, I incorporated graphs, icons, and statistics. I wanted to make the information fun, easy to understand for the readers. Here's an example of how I showed the reader the difference in capacity between the largest stadium in the MLB and the oldest stadium in the MLB. In 1936, the National Baseball Hall of Fame was established. I used a pie chart that I built in Illustrator to signify how many players and coaches, umpires and managers are currently inducted. I used fire icons to indicate the top 5 fastest pitchers ever recorded in MLB. I really enjoyed this project. It was a good experience for me to write and edit all the copy, and this was something I never had the chance to do before. Some of the challenges in this project, we're dealing with the text, a lot of large body text. I wanted to have a good shape for the text so it would be appealing. I didn't want to have any orphans and widows, so I ended up using a somewhat justified text, and I used some tracking and kerning and a little bit of rewording to make sure the text had fit together nicely. After the text had a nice shape, I had to copy and proofread, and also I had others copy and proofread it. For the cover graphics, I wanted to use a shaded triangle illustration technique that I used with some of the backgrounds for the character graphics on the inside. I wanted it to have the same graphical style as the front and the back cover. And I continued to use that horizontal separation, flowing right. The picture is throwing right, and it gives the viewer a sense of excitement. I wanted the back cover to obtain similar action. So if the book were lying face down, it would seem as the picture is staring at the batter. I added a small description about the book in the masthead in the same area, and I created a triangle players and illustrated them using the pen tool. The table of contents, I used the same idea of motion, the pitcher throwing at the hitter. I wanted the type to be small yet readable so the pages were not too overwhelming. These pages push the reader's eye to the center. The composition in every spread is a little different. Even though the spreads are different, they maintain the same cohesiveness due to the fonts, graphics, and colors. This project was very large yet rewarding, and if you wish to see the full version of the book, I do have a link to that in my portfolio website that you can look at. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I look forward to sharing more work or answering any questions you may have. Thank you.